recording in progress. Look out.
Here we are. Here you are.
Hi.
Where are you?
I'm in my car.
Yeah, I noticed that. Where,
Well, you said, where am I? I'm like, I'm in my car.
grab your audience right away with something that's just scintillating.
I have a loaded field, so I'm just going to wait and see what you've got.
Oh, what do you mean you've got a loaded field? When don't you have a loaded field?
Well, okay, sorry. Let me rephrase that. Today's been an epic loaded field day for Lisa Belter. So, and thank you for my schooling on listening to men. It's come in very handy.
But I've been thinking a lot about it, and I mean, it really depends upon the type of man and what relationship you have with him, right?
I don't know. I think it's just honoring the masculine regardless and letting him have the floor. And you can tell a lot about a person if how they talk, if they include you, if they ask you questions, if it's all about them. And then that's when you get all the information you need. You don't really have to talk.
Very true.
So I learned that from you.
Well, I'm sure you knew that before that.
No, sometimes I need to be schooled too. I'm still learning every day. I learn something, and it's just nice to be reminded that, you know, you have such a good heart, Elijah, and you're so open and kind and giving with your counsel and your listening. That listening is, I think, it's like grace. You offer grace all the time. But I loved you talking with your friend, man. I laughed. That was hilarious. I was just watching his mannerisms, and he was more concerned about him and how he looked on screen than he was listening to you. And I'd catch him all the time because he wasn't listening. He was looking at himself in the screen. And you'd ask him a question, and he'd be like, yeah, yes. Like, not paying attention. Your looks aren't more important than the conversation, buddy. You're not in my army. You're out. Fired.
Well, guess what? I think next week, this Saturday, I would like to invite you to be with me and Shambu in the show.
On Zoom.
Yeah, to be a guest, a guest of me and Shambu. Because I was thinking we need to branch out a bit and add a bit more in, maybe go to a foursome. So I'm going to bring somebody and he's going to bring somebody.
Nice. I'd love to. Be my honor.
Okay.
Be honored.
I think it could be pretty interesting. So how, like, what today was extra special in terms of intensity?
No, well, it's always intense. The field is always just doing her thing or ebb and flow, but it's me, my energy's getting calmer by the week. And so now I can navigate way more skillfully than boom, hit you over the head, Lisa hammer.
Really? So
yeah.
What's the big difference?
That's the big difference.
Well, I mean, like, what was the cause of that?
It was a conversation on Sunday with a lady. We had a disagreement about a guy. I thought he was creepy. I thought his energy was really greasy hair, bad feng shui, like greasy house downstairs, like gave me the ooby joobies. And so when she brought up that she had a card reading by him, I got triggered. And I said, Frank, I said, gross. She got triggered. Lisa, well, listen, I understand environments now. If your environment's like dirty and you don't wash your hair and you're smoking and hanging out and then eating food or touching women, like gross. Like that's just incongruent for me as a masculine, warrior. And she got triggered. I got triggered. I figured out what my trigger was. And I said to her, where he lives in that building, the field is loaded. You know how I know? When I was 16 years old, I stood outside that building after my McDonald's orientation. And I'd never been so scared to grab the bus because it was the first time I think I was down on 17th Ave as a 16-year-old. And men were whistling at me. And I had shorts on, but I was just like, oh, am I safe? Like, is this a safe environment? But I was just young. They were just guys whistling at this girl with legs. And then I said, and then on the top floor of that building, my mom was raped by her boyfriend. So that energy field is loaded for me. And that's why I'm getting triggered. That is a terrible memory my mom had to go through. And I said, so that's my experience. You might have your experience. And then I realized she might have been raped, or she might have had some issue. My mom was raped, and now I was raping people in my own way by hitting them, forcing them to take my verbal cues, regardless if that was bang on or not. I was raping people myself with my verbal diarrhea, so to speak. Rip off their neck, spit it down. Fuck that, fuck you. Let me tell you how it is, because I can see, but I was accosting people, Elijah. And when I got that lesson, that's what the mirror was showing me, I just went, put the brakes on, information, no more. Not unless they ask, you're not allowed to talk. Unless they're being slimy and you need to hit them over the head, because some people just need to, they just need to be wow. Fucking hit, because they're being slimy and they're not owning their sliminess. Then I have to tune them in, which right. I did last night to my friend. So there you go.
Well, it sounds as if the reflex hammer machine now has discernment, and that's a total game changer.
Yeah, because now I'm way more powerful than I've ever been, because they don't know who I am. They don't really, what's your name? Who are you? What's your background? Like, it's perfect. Now I can just slide in there, whatever costume I'm wearing, and they just assume I'm just some blonde or just somebody who's not important or just somebody. And I just sit there in the field and I just download. Now I don't have to say anything. I don't have to accuse them, point my fingers at them, tell they're fucked. The polio vaccine, you're fucking kidding me. I'm just like heart rate. And I'm like, oh, I'm not saying anything, but I'm going to log that fucking shit in for information in the field for next time. Whoa. Awesome. Wah! Epic day. Hike kung fu fighting.
Okay, well, that's a little bit different. That's different than I thought. That's I can see your kung fu is getting stronger.
I am becoming a master of my own master.
And focus and awareness in the moment.
Yeah, I'm really I stay in the moment and breathe and just watch my body, like where I'm triggered, like, because I want to fight, Elijah, like when people are doing the universe wrong or cutting down trees or their perspectives are out of alignment, man, do I want to fight them. But they're not aware, they're not ready for the information. There's no point in me correcting them in the field because they didn't ask me. So as a master, if I want to be masterful, I have to wait for them to ask me. Otherwise, the message will not get delivered. And then therefore, I'm wasting my own life force and getting burnt out.
So now you have to put together workshops where people pay you to ask you to use your gift with them.
Yeah.
Because that's the only situation where the human is going to actually, they're paying you to teach them whatever it is.
Yeah. That's why my new fee is $10,000 to do your feng shui.
It's gone up $8,000.
$10,000 now, just for me to, it depends on what you need, but it's $10,000. You want me to do your house? Yeah.
Well, that's good, because your clientele is going to be a different clientele. But last week it was 2,000, so you've already gone up 8,000 in a week. That's good.
Yeah.
And you can give deals, maybe for somebody get 9,700.
Yeah, and I don't mind helping the people that ask. I don't mind sharing my wisdom because they asked. I'm not giving them, I'm just giving them ideas. And I gave a guy an idea just like 30 minutes ago. I walked out of his coffee shop. He asked me and I told him, I just downloaded from the field, told him what was going on, had him stand there, taught him what I felt. He goes, that's right. That's exactly what's happening in my coffee shop. I said, there you go to town, be creative. And I felt so good walking out, Elijah, because we had this respect. We had this respect, this honor. Shared knowledge for an exchange.
Wait, say it again. I couldn't hear for the last sentence there.
Oh, sorry. It was just good shared knowledge.
Right.
Yeah, sorry, my phone fell off I don't have my Tiger thing set up here.
No, I think that's key, isn't it? I mean, when you really get in touch with your gifts, then you want to share them with others at that same level in some way, or at least
Yeah.
have to receive it.
Yeah, that's right. Because before I would just walk in and hammer people, hey, your space is doing this. Hey, your house, oh, your marriage corner is fucked up. People, they knew it on one level, but then they'd find a way to do me in, you know, like you bitch, or fuck you, you're assaulting me. Because it feels like rape when you go and give information to people when they didn't ask for it. Tell them what to do. You should sell your house like this. You should do this kind of car. What are you doing this, Lisa? And then I couldn't figure out why I was getting mad, Elijah. Like, why people were telling me, oh, you should do this. You shouldn't sell your house. Are you sure, Lisa? You better be careful. And I'd get mad inside. Now I know why. It's because I was fucking accosting them and they were accosting me with their opinion. Like doing one of those, like, Lisa, let me tell you how my fear is going to show up in your field. And then I'm going to tell you, because you don't have the money and I do. I'm going to tell you what you should do with your fucking house, even though you're more organized than I am. And you know the market better than I do. Let me just tell you what my wife thinks of you selling your house. Be careful. Be careful. Oh, what? Be careful in a market that's hot where it's in my advantage. I should be careful. I think you should be careful about your house and your assets. That's what I downloaded last night. I'm like, oh yeah, you need to be careful. Make sure they don't take your money, Bob, because they all want your money. Make sure. Because now what people are saying is their own systemic shit that's now being put onto Lisa Belter, and I'm not taking anybody's shit anymore. So
There's a new sheriff in town, and the shit don't go there.
Right. So now I'm getting quicker acting. Sorry, did you say be careful? Be careful. Be careful. I'm confused. What does that mean? Be careful. I'm watching everybody's body language. It's fucking brilliant. I got this today.
Someone gave you one of those?
Well, but he was on, Joe was on my right side and he was on his right side. He gave the guy over there a fuck you. It was priceless just to watch the interaction of the body language. So subtle. So subtle. Because we were talking about golf and this guy says, what do you do, Lisa? It's a big fat guy. What do you do? I said, everything. Oh, could you narrow that down a little bit for me? Sure. Feng Shui, constellation, and values determination. And I golf, I dance, I write books. So what else? Joe, is that true? Have you taken her out golfing? Is she a good golfer? Asking Joe. Oh, yeah, if she gets her temper in check. I didn't say anything. Trigger. And then he says something else. I said, it's only because I only get a tap. He goes, how is that possible? She's a feng shui expert. Why would she be getting angry? And I didn't do anything. And I said, you know what, Bob? I only get angry when men tell me what to do. Like, keep my head down, you know, and don't swing so hard, you know, like, really? Really? Keep my head down? Fuck off. So I'm just having fun because it's like, yeah, and I only get mad when men tell me what to do and he starts laughing. Yeah, see, Joe? Because Joe's always telling everybody what to do. And so Joe gave him the fuck you. He gave him a dig. Joe went like that. It's like fucking priceless. Now we can have fun, Elijah. Now my energy's starting to get a little more grounded and a little more, you know, it's just falling into place. And
I like the sounds of that.
well, then you get to have fun with Lisa Belter, right? Like, it's like all this, like, as I'm talking to you, there's this biggest fucking fattest woman behind me in the Jeep that I want. Like, I want a new Jeep because I want to be like able to go up on fucking curbs and fuck you, right? If I have to get out or do something. Mm-hmm. And this woman behind me, she's got the best Jeep ever, but she's so fat. And it's just, that's my energy. It's what I attract, right? This, oh yeah, right? That's just how I pick it up, right? So if she saw me get out of my car, she can't see me. But if I got out of my car wearing what I'm wearing today, she'd give me probably run me over. Women, we're such bitches and we're so jealous. I figured out that's what's causing the wars. We're jealous. We're jealous of each other. We're jealous of of their beauty, of their knowledge, of their resources, of their husband, of their work. The jealousy, the root of jealousy is all evil. That for me, that's what I've figured out for me. Because I'm seeing it in my 10-year-old daughter, her jealousy of me now is starting to rise up. And I'm picking it up. I'm calling her on it. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. I saw that look. Oh, well, no, Sarah, I caught that look. And now she's not deferring because she's still 10. She doesn't have those walls and those mechanisms to lie. She's just raw and real. That's what happened. Yeah, that's what happened. Okay, well, that's fine. You don't have to share your stuff with me. You're right to have your own stuff. Oh, but by the way, Sarah, I just cleaned your whole fucking room, both of them, plus your bathroom, which you were supposed to clean for the last 6 months. So if you're not going to share your paper with me so that I can output photos of us, then I'm going to say you're pretty selfish right about them, because you're not putting in perspective. Mama Bear here's done a lot of work for you. Not that you have to pay me back. I'm happy to do it, but that you're not acknowledging me for what I've contributed to you. And you're going to comment on the paper that I'm using that I can easily replace. I get it. Thank you. And then I said, so I'm going upstairs. Good night. And then I have to let her stew on it. You're right, Mom. I haven't been appreciating you. Well, I'm happy to help you out, Sarah. However, let's put things in perspective now. Like she's getting all this training now, you know. Yep.
So what's the next plan?
I listed my house this morning by myself for $628, and I'm not paying the fucking $20,000 commission that I would have owed to whomever, a guy, Doug. And my brilliant lawyer friend took me out for dinner last night and said, just do it yourself, Lisa. Oh shit, forgot about that card. Thank you, Brad. Yes, so I went home, researched it, got up early this morning, put in all the information, worked out my banking, had enough money, exactly enough money. $13 is what I have left in my account. Filled out the forms. I just have to complete a few things and I'm golden. My house is going on the market. It'll be on the market today.
Wow.
In the field, my house is, look out, man. My house is ready for the perfect person that wants to come in. And we're supposed to have a snowstorm tomorrow, apparently. Doesn't feel like it right now. It feels like the weather's turning back to awesomeness. But we're supposed to have a snowstorm tomorrow, which is great because that will load up the weekend for an open house for the right person, right? Like clear the energy and move it.
Holy smoly.
Sorry?
Holy smoly.
Yeah. So I told you the money's coming, organizing, keep layering, keep working, watching people, watch the reflection, watch the mirror, just keep watching, put a plan together, but be flexible. You know, like just keep coming. Just don't say anything until it's done. That's my new lesson as well. Shut up. Shut up. Don't say anything until the work's done. Don't be telling people what you're doing because everybody's got a fucking opinion.
Yeah.
Right. So here I am. And thank you for moving my appointment ahead because I really needed to complete that lunch today and then this meeting with a coffee shop guy. That was priceless. Really needed my help. I could tell, and I needed his help because he schooled me on Croatia and Serbia and how to make real coffee, and dark roast is shit coffee because they burn the shit out of it to hide its impurities. And I was like, perfect. Key. I'll take that key. exciting. Look out, because my energy's almost, for me, is when my body's sore, Elijah, it's hard for me to keep pushing, like push through sometimes because I don't have enough energy because it drains me, right, to go around and feel the field. But my chiropractor was my golden, this guy I used to see years ago. I saw him yesterday. He's like a magic man. He works on broken cross, guys that ride motocross, dressage, cowboys, people in movies, marathoners. Like this guy works on the creme de la creme of broken people, broken bodies, but he doesn't make you come back. He works on you once and says, get out of here. Don't come back unless you need me, but you don't need to see me again. You're good. And he showed me why I was having this pain in my back. He just said, do this. He released it all. He tried to do inside my mouth. I fucking almost fell off the fucking, seat. And I said, you don't understand. My gums are inflamed. He tried to stick his thumb up. I'm like, not yet. You're gonna have to wait till my gums heal. Because he was trying to release my jaw, my TMJ and my jaw. Gifted art therapy chiropractor. So $65. He just done. Put me back together.
Wow.
Like, I'm so grateful. Like, so grateful.
Have you noticed anything with the teeth?
Yeah, they're healing slowly. I can feel my teeth moving, Elijah. For the first time, I feel like I can breathe because my teeth are moving. They're not bound by that wire. They're like,
right.
They're fine. I feel like everything's just finally like starting to move into its groove. And I just need another probably 6-7 weeks. And then when I get my money, I'm driving down to Arizona to see that lady who is going to do the scan. She's going to give me a new bite appliance so that my jaw will get moved the way my body wants it to sit on my head. Because he says the reason why it's sore is that there's a point in my neck that's overcompensating to keep my head straight. But it's because my jaw is out of alignment. That's why it's sore here, which then it's sore on the right side, which is causing all this tension. And that's what it is my jaw is out of alignment because of my bite, because I don't have a fucking good jaw / dentist / molecular dentistry, right? So now I found the lady, the money's coming. I'm going to book an appointment. Doesn't matter. Probably costs $5,000. Get it done, drive, have a nice drive, and get my jaw wired for my body type square onto my head so that I am ready.
Wow.
I'm ready. And then we can go to war in a good way. Then I'll have tons of extra energy to like just regulate and then fight if I have to verbally or whatever it is, whatever comes up for me in the field that I need to address. And then I won't be like, I'm like a tiger, right? They got me strapped in the back right now, like a tiger,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, let me go, let me out of here. So I think it's to hold me back because I probably would have killed myself by now, Elijah. If they weren't holding it, the energy wasn't trying to get me to slow down, I probably would have killed myself by now. Because when I get mad, I'm gonna fucking kill somebody, or I'm gonna drive really fast and I'll be done. Die by metal, basically. Death by the sword, as they say.
Have you ever gone to a grieving ceremony?
A grieving?
Yeah.
Fuck, I feel like I've been grieving my whole fucking life. I do process grieving work all the time, but I've never been to a ceremony just for grieving. I do my own grieving at home. In my own ceremony.
Have you heard of Malador Some?
Mala what?
Malador Some.
Malador Sobe.
Some, I think. He's from Africa, and he's written a few books, and he does grieving rituals. And I went to one where there was like about 40 people all grieving together, and it was the first time I'd ever cried or seen other people cry or have grief together, and through a ceremony where water's involved, and it's a process that he's a master of, because his tribe, at their essence of their tribe, grieving is almost at the center of their tribe of sharing the grief together and sharing the joy together. But their culture, I think it's the Dagara tribe, I think, And he
Garwa?
was Dugara,
Dugara. Where's Dugara?
somewhere in Africa. But he was educated. He grew up initially within his tribe. Then he went to get educated, I think, in a French university. And then he came back and the elders trained him. And so he had the Western and their mind and the Western mind together. And his name means make friends with your enemy.
Wow, that's awesome, Elijah. Thank you for sharing that.
So I think his book is The Wisdom of Africa, if you ever want to find it, but it's well worth the read.
Okay, I'll find it. Dugara, Wisdom of Africa.
Wisdom
No,
of
his
Africa
tribe is Dugara. What's his name
by
again?
Malador Masome.
Some.
And I think he's gone around the world doing grieving rituals, and he was a sort of like I knew a couple of people who were very into. They brought him into town, and they made it available. But it just seemed like I just thought that with your anger, I think when we really release our grief, the anger at least tones down a little bit. I think when we really feel a true grieving.
Yeah, I hear you.
But yeah.
Well, that's all anger is repressed sadness and grief, right? That's why COVID happened. The lungs represent grief, and the world hasn't released their grief in general.
Mm.
You're so small on my screen. You're like tiny. Squish your head. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. I don't know how to make you larger. There you are. There you go. That's better. Now I can see you.
So I don't think I'll be able to show up when you want me to show up. When I look at everything I've got to get done before I get on the road, it's there's certain things I have to do before I go anywhere. And, you seem a lot stronger, like not in the same position as when you asked me at that time.
Yeah, I'm just going through the layers, and that's where I was when I had to go through my own grieving of not feeling safe in the universe, that I needed some physical man around me, because that's been my crutches. I don't feel safe. What if somebody attacks me? I could probably tiger fight my way, but if there's some big fucker that's going to hold me down and do whatever, or 3 or 4, then I kept looking for a physical presence, because my dad disappeared, right? Like, because he's gone. When you showed me that wood is always around me, and that the universe is very giving and kind with helping me along on my journey. And that if I trust spirit, when it's time for me to die or be tortured or whatever is going on in the field, then it's the right time. But I've been tortured enough. It's time for me to celebrate. And I am safe. I have good friends around you. My dad's around all the time. Gary Zito's around. I have really strong spiritual guides that are like, go get them, Lisa. We're here. Don't worry. Just have faith. Listen to the field. Stay in your body. Don't check out. Don't drink too much. Don't do drugs. Just stay grounded. Just stay in the field.
Well, it's really good to see. I mean, I really, I've been witnessing your progression, and you're so transparent, but I can feel the strength and see the strength, and know, and sort of know it's always there, but just the amount of, we don't know what someone's gone through, and you've been sharing quite vividly.
Yeah.
It's funny, while you're speaking for the last 2 minutes, there's this huge group of crows that have been just yakking, and I've never heard really crows here yak. So I think you were bringing in.
Can I see them? Can I hear them or see them, or?
Well, if you can you hear? They quieted down, but for a while you'll probably hear it in the video, but really loud, like about 200-300 crows all outside.
Yeah. Yeah, those crows like me. They're very smart. Are the crows or ravens?
These are crows.
Are they crows? How do you know?
They're too small.
Ah.
Ravens are usually quite a bit bigger than these guys. These guys are all pretty small.
Yeah. Yeah, the birds are like Sarah, she's very gifted. She's got bird totems everywhere. And so do I, because my dad's the blue jay for me. And Gary Zito's the magpie. My mom's the owl. And so the birds are my signs. If I ever need to, like, remember the alchemist? He watched the flight of the hawks, and that's how he interpreted the war at the Mirage.
Right.
He watched the omens. He watched the flight of the hawks.
Right.
And because he saw what he saw, he was able to interpret it. And then the universe just said, yep, that's what's going to happen. And he had faith that he interpreted it correctly. So I do the same thing when I'm dancing around the universe. If I pay attention and just go where the energy says, go look here, or watch that bird, or go that direction, it never leads me astray. If I watch the animals, they will lead me to safety. The birds for sure, for up, dogs, cats, you name it, because they don't lie. Like, they're not sorcerers, you know. They're not, people aren't doing like bad voodoo shit to things, you know. The animals are of pure nature, pure love. And so when I'm in trouble, if I just follow them, even if it's a sign on a billboard, you know, and I see the white rabbit, or I use the cars as my sign when I'm driving, you know, what car, what symbols blocking me, who's in what car, what nationality, and I read it as I'm moving.
Well, it's matrix,
as an
right?
interpretation of this. Yeah, it's the matrix. That's what happened. Remember when you saw the cat die?
Funny, it's glitching just as you're saying that.
And he said, what is that? And he goes, nothing. No, what is it? That's the matrix. I saw a double cat. That's the matrix. We gotta get going. Something's off in the field, right?
Yeah. The field has changed.
The communication gets stopped, right? Sorry?
Well, yeah,
the communication.
Communication.
All right. So we're good.
Yeah, that can be the end of the show. And we'll see y'all next week.
So